The Trump administration says all eligible children under the age of 5 separated from their families as a result of its zero-tolerance immigration policy have been reunited with their parents. Of the 103 children covered by the court mandate to reunify families separated, 57 have been reunited. 46 children remain separated because of safety concerns or that their parents have been deported or are in custody for other offenses. Joining me now is Bob Cusack, editor-in-chief of The Hill. Bob, welcome back.
Hey, Laura.
The Trump administration faces another deadline on July 26th. That's when it has to return 2,000 children older than the age of 5 to their families. Is this issue of how to handle illegal immigration going to burn out, or are we going to see it all the way up till the midterms?
I think we're going to see it go into the fall because the administration is having a difficult time reuniting these families, which I guess in hindsight is not really hard to see that this is not an easy task. So I think they've struggled in the beginning. They're probably going to struggle going forward. And certainly Republicans want this out of the headlines. But I think we're going to see it with these deadlines and also missed deadlines. I think it's going to be a problem for Republicans this fall, especially, remember, a lot of Republicans in swing districts in the House, they represent districts with a lot of Latinos. So that could be a problem, especially in California. That's going to be a problem for them.
Let's move on to the Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Today, what a hearing that was, with Peter Strzok. So
yeah.
Peter Strzok wrote negative texts about President Trump. Peter Strzok was working for the FBI, and at the FBI, he was handling the investigations into President Trump. This is the first time we've seen him publicly. We've seen him in the closed doors. But I don't know about you, but I felt the nastiness coming out of this hearing room was unprecedented.
Yeah,
Your thoughts?
No, it was it's been one of the most contentious hearings I've ever seen. You had Democrats clapping for Strzok, and one Democrat saying you give him a Purple Heart, and other Republicans saying, what are you, crazy? You know,
Darrell Issa, Representative Darrell Issa, made him read his texts that had vulgarities in them. And then Representative Jackson Lee held up Paul Manafort's mugshot that was just released to the media today.
It is crazy, and then you saw a lot of, Lisa Page, who was having the affair with. I mean, certainly Strzok and Page used poor judgment here. But the big issue for Republicans is going after what they say was a clear bias, and he was biased.
And that was mentioned. The reason you're bringing that up is because that was actually mentioned in the hearing.
Yes, Louis Gohmert mentioned the hearing that he basically saying Peter Strzok's a liar, and he's probably lied to his wife about Lisa Page because they're having an affair. So this was just an ugly, ugly hearing. But do we get a lot of news? I mean, there's certain things Strzok wouldn't say because he said the FBI he can't say. So it was just a partisan battle that was really not a high point for Congress.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I completely agree with you. He is really the poster boy right now for our partisan divide. And I agree with you that the antics distracted from the actual testimony and finding out what happened, along with the obstruction. I mean, he was not forthcoming.
Right, he wasn't, and he was also combative. I mean, there were members of Congress were certainly combative with him on the Republican side, but he was giving it back to them. So that only added to the theater.
That's right. He said to them at one point that this was deeply, what did he say, deeply divisive, and what they were doing. So thank you so much. Nasty on the Hill today. Thank you so much for joining us, Bob Cusack, editor-in-chief for The Hill.